Okay, let's talk about water. If you've ever found yourself just staring at your hydroponics setup, completely overwhelmed by the chemistry of it all, trust me, you are not alone. We hear it all the time, perfect water is the key. But what does that really mean? Well, today, we're going to cut right through all that confusion. We are going to demystify water prep and turn some pretty complex science into simple, actionable steps that'll give your plants the absolute best foundation to just thrive. You know, this quote just nails it. In hydroponics, water isn't just some delivery truck for nutrients, right? It's the entire world your plants' roots live in. I mean, their health, their growth, everything depends on it. Mastering your water is honestly the single biggest key to success, and that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. So here's our game plan. First, we'll really establish why water is the absolute foundation of everything. Then, we're going to bust a huge myth about so-called pure water. After that, I'm going to show you why your tap water is probably your new best friend, and why stabilization beats purity every single time. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with these super practical checklists to keep your system happy and healthy. Let's start by building that foundation. Think about it. In a regular soil garden, the soil itself acts as a buffer, right? It holds on to moisture and nutrients. But in hydroponics, water has to do all of that heavy lifting. It's the structure, it's the pantry, and it's the hydration source, all rolled into one. If you get the water wrong, you're going to see it in your plant's health, their growth rate, and their ability to fight off any kind of stress. It's a really simple but powerful way to think about it. I mean, you wouldn't want to drink water that's dirty or totally stripped of everything beneficial, would you? Of course not. And neither would your plants. So the goal isn't just to make things wet, it's to make them balanced. And that's a concept we're going to keep coming back to. All right, now this is where a lot of new growers, and even some experienced ones, get tripped up. There's this common belief that you have to start with the absolute purest water you can find. Distilled water or water from one of those fancy reverse osmosis systems. It sounds logical, right? Pure must be better. But in practice, oh man, it can create a whole new set of headaches for you. And this right here shows you the hidden trap of pure water. Take a look at distilled water. It's a blank slate, yeah, but it's an incredibly unstable one. It's so empty that it literally pulls carbon dioxide right out of the air, creating carbonic acid that sends your pH on a wild roller coaster ride. And reverse osmosis water? It's not much better. It strips out everything, forcing you to become a chemist and add back all those essential minerals. It's a complex, expensive headache that honestly is usually totally unnecessary. So if pure water is actually the problem, then what's the solution? Well, for most of us, it's flowing right out of the faucet. That's right, with just a few simple tweaks, your regular old tap water can become the unsung hero of your hydroponic garden. And this is why. This is the tap water advantage. Not only is it super convenient and cheap, but it already has beneficial minerals like calcium and magnesium that pure water is missing. The only real issue you have to deal with is disinfectants like chlorine. But getting rid of them? Incredibly simple. A basic carbon filter or a good quality water conditioner takes care of it instantly. It's that easy. No complexity, no stripping, no fuss. Okay, this brings us to the single most important idea in this entire explainer. So listen up. Forget about purity. The goal is not to have sterile, empty water. The goal is to have a stable environment. It's all about achieving a chemical balance where your nutrients stay available for your plants 24/7. That's what lets your roots really thrive. Let's just lock in this definition for a second. Stabilization is all about creating a buffer. A great way to think of a buffer is like a chemical shock absorber for your water. It helps resist those wild pH swings that can cause nutrient lockouts, which is when your plants can't access nutrients even if they're right there in the water. A stable environment is a productive environment. Simple as that. So how do you actually get that stability? Well, this is where a good water conditioner, like the root balance mentioned in our source material, really shines. Think of it like a Swiss Army knife for your water. It buffers the pH to prevent that nutrient lockout. It has special agents that keep all the nutrients available. It helps break down that gross, slimy biofilm that can clog up your system, and it instantly neutralizes chlorine. It basically transforms unpredictable tap water into a perfect, reliable nutrient delivery system. Okay, so we've covered the why. Now let's get into the how. Maintaining this perfect water environment isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. It takes a simple but really consistent routine to make sure your plants are always getting exactly what they need when they need it.
A full water change every 2 to 3 weeks is absolutely non-negotiable. See, over time, your plants use up different nutrients at different rates, and that throws the whole solution out of balance. Plus, stagnant water can become a breeding ground for bad stuff. The process is simple. Mix up your new batch first, drain out the old stuff, give the reservoir a quick wipe down, and refill. This simple reset is so critical for the long-term health of your plants.
Now, in between those big resets, you gotta keep an eye on your system's vital signs. First, check your pH regularly. You want to make sure it stays in that sweet spot for nutrient uptake. Second, monitor your EC, or electrical conductivity. The easiest way to think of EC is as a foodometer. It just tells you how concentrated the nutrients are in the water. If you see either of those numbers swinging wildly and you're fighting to correct them, that's your system screaming at you that it needs a fresh start. Don't fight it. Just do a water change.
So if you take just one thing away from all this, please let it be this. You do not need some expensive, complicated water purification system to be a successful hydroponic grower. Using treated tap water isn't a shortcut, it's not a compromise, it's a smart, efficient, and reliable foundation that gives your plants the balanced, stable environment that they crave.
As we've seen, the science really shows that a simpler approach to your water is often the best one. So with this new understanding, I want you to take a good look at your own setup. Are you going to stop worrying so much about purity and start focusing on stability? What's the first small adjustment you're going to make to build a better, more balanced world for your garden?